All right, Chukwudi Okoli is here with us again. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you.
I am present, ma'am. How are you doing?
You're welcome. Very well.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, Victor.
Good
morning on a cold morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing
If I saw only your head, I would say, is that a leopard or something?
If you saw only my head,
yes.
You ask whether it's a leopard.
Only that top, I'll say, is this a leopard?
You mean my hair is turning grey at a
your cap,
rate?
your cap.
The headgear.
Oh, the cap.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to get furious. Good to see you guys.
All right, let's see what the papers have this morning. Let's begin with the New Telegraph newspaper. And the lead story here is on flooding. It says FEC sets up committee to reassess Allow Dam. Others, floods disaster relief fund. The riders, government advises residents of flood-prone areas to leave as River Benue water level rises to 0.9 meters. The U.S. offers support to 67,000 flood victims in Borno as EU okays £5.4 million aid to victims in Nigeria and 4 other countries. All right, away from all of that, above the lead story, just below the masthead, we have previous administration never thought it wise to develop FCT satellite towns. That's according to Wike. As FEC approves Maitama 2, others development okays 40 houses for judges. All right, that's on page 2. And court dismisses suit seeking Ganduje's sack as APC chair. You can also read that up on page 2. Moving to page 29, you can find this there. Federal government approves National Citizens Value Brigade in schools. National symbols standardization. You want to find out what that is all about. Page 29 has that, of course. Let's look beside the picture story. On the front page of the New Telegraph this morning, we have vote buying, no end in sight to conquer war. That's on page 9. Monkeys save 6-year-old from sexual assault. Interesting. Page 28 has that. And National Assembly plans joint probe of economic sabotage in petroleum sector. You can see that on page 26. And quickly on Edo Guba, we have who will test judiciary's preparedness, says PDP. Calls on INEC to review results, poll an example of state capture. That's according to Obi. Results manipulated, Yaga Africa alleges. We did everything to win Edo election. According to APC, FEC, others congratulate Ukpebolo, Lord Tinubu for commitment to electoral process. And on the 79th UNGA, which is currently ongoing, Nigeria demands permanent Security Council seats for Africa once African standby force operationalized. So that's it from the New Telegraph quickly. Let's see what the People's Daily has. The People's Daily leads with Kaduna government. That's the kicker to this story, if you like, the headline. Notorious bandit leader Kachala Shame orders killed in gang clash. Above that, Northern APC court dismisses suit seeking Ganduje's removal as APC chairman. Edo Guba, PDP rejects result, vows to take firm steps to retrieve mandate. All right, let's see how that goes. And then below the picture story, ONGA 79, Nigeria makes fresh case for UN Security Council seat. And some other few stories at the bottom of the front page of the People's Daily this morning. Quickly, Saudi Arabia at 98th National Day celebrates bilateral ties with Nigeria. And finally, Hippo kills Yori Emir's guard in Kebbi. Victor.
All right, thank you, Yemre. And I have the Daily Trust. And apart from some of the headlines Yemre already read from other dailies, below the nameplate, Israeli strikes kill 356 in Lebanon. That story is on page 5. CBN moves to replace sacked directors, page 37. Pastoralists allege plot to stop livestock ministry, page 3. And then the major story here, Samoa agreement. Ombudsman asks Daily Trust to apologize. Says newspaper's story inaccurate, FG's handling poor. And praises complainant, respondent for voluntary submission. See full report on pages 29, 30, and 31. All right, and towards the bottom here, conflict of interests stalling constituency projects. That's according to EFCC and the ICPC. For details, read page 6. And finally, on the bottom strip, 70 polio variants recorded in 14 northern states. That's according to the FG, page 3. Chukwudi.
Thank you, Victor. You can see I'm still writing UTME, furiously. Because I just saw something. FG to establish National Citizens Value Brigade in schools.
Yeah, you already read that.
Yes, our values are taking a bad dip. They have dipped so ignominiously. We need to do something about our values. In fact, the typical Nigerian child now does not belong in heaven nor the other side. Not going to mention that name.
So
He's an
neither here nor
anomie.
there.
He's an anomie. You won't say he's white, you won't say he's black. You don't know what his culture really is. So reintroducing our values is very important to me. I'm just giving it a perfunctory
But what's
mention
the
there.
cause of the slum?
I think that the nuclear family should be blamed more than anyone else. There are still some parents whom you could meet outside and they tell them something, an upheaval is happening somewhere in town. They say, no problem, my children won't be there. And their children truly are not there. So I think it is still the home that needs to begin to inculcate these values. But of course, the larger society, spearheaded by government agencies, NGOs, would also be part of reinforcing those values. We must retrace our steps from the precipice, because that's
Just
where
a
we're
quick
headed.
addition to that. I don't think that it's just the values that have dipped. I think education generally in the country has dipped as a whole. So instead of focusing on just value, focus on how we can strengthen our education system and of course, get back to the basics, having those in primary and secondary, which is, the starter, to actually get quality education. When I mean quality, we're not talking about private schools that are, in every story building these days, but having the government schools, get them up to standard.
Abroad is the government school
like they used to be, because I
want
think
to
that
get into
yes,
for quality.
because again, if teaching and learning is done properly in schools, I mean, values will be instilled naturally.
I agree with you. Actually, you start from the home, then you pass it on to
The
the
situation where you
teachers.
get to schools, there are no teachers to teach. The children are roaming around the classes.
Yes.
You can scale the friends anytime you want and get into school.
And sometimes
I mean,
the teacher...
And when you say it begins from the home, sometimes you give what you have. You can't give what you don't have.
That's
so
it.
It's everywhere.
It was Reverend Father George Husani whom I said, look, parents are no longer inculcating in children some values we have. You know what the Reverend Father told me? Say, Chukwudi, what if it is a case of you talking about parents who themselves need training? I didn't know where to go from there.
No, but that's the truth.
No, but away from parents, I know, yes, parents have a blame, but you see, like
Yeah.
those days, if you're in a government school, there's a time you should be in school. If you're not there on time, you cut the grasses, you do something.
That's it.
And then you get into class, your teacher is there, you're being taught. I mean, there's no way you would misbehave.
In my time, 7 strokes of the cane waited for you, or if you came late to school,
Or you have a
it's
torn
value.
uniform or a dirty uniform.
Oh,
You get...
I thought you are,
I'm not a Gen Z, I
new
told you.
age.
I'm not a Gen
You
Z.
seem to be a little on our side. Bravo. Yeah, Ray. That's a good one. UN Security Council, it consists of Britain, United States, Russia, China, and France. And they carry the veto power. Now, some of the nations called developing countries are angling for membership of the council. And I think it's about time, too. It is not right that only 5 European powers should be having the final say on very thorny, crucial issues in world politics. So I think the argument you are making there is quite a good argument. The only problem is that even if they admit us into it, the Security Council, they are saying that we are not going to have any veto power. So it's almost a distinction without a difference. The 5 powers will still be the ones who could say no. One of them will just say no.
Yeah,
the
one
resolution
country can veto.
Yes.
Even if you decide and one country says no, well, that's no.
It's an unfair world. Life is never really fair, But if you have a good disposition towards it, you will get away with many things. Notorious bandit leader Kachala Sharma is said to have been killed, in in a gang clash. God is even sowing the seed of discord among them because they have engaged in too much bloodletting that you don't know whether forgiveness is going to come easy. It's just that it's the good Lord, however dark your sin is, if you do repent, he accepts it. Before Jerry says, Pastor Chukudi, please, let's go to another, issue there. Yeah.
And then pastoralists allege plot to stop livestock ministry. By who and why?
Let me say this again. If we develop livestock in this country to the level it should be developed, it will become a wonderful foreign exchange earner. It's not going to be to the benefit of the herders, the cattle owners only. So let us stop being petty. Somebody said when it was established, what about farmers and all that? You know how we talk in this country. Not only Yoruba, you want down for what of Igbo, what of Hausa? And we remain small when we keep on thinking like that. And it stems from the fact that we see a Yoruba man first, we see a Hausa man first, we see an Igbo man first, we see a Fulani man first before we see a human being. That is a problem we have.
Well, but the good thing is that the Senate has said it's false and even satanic.
It's not even going to work.
And then the
It's been
president
established.
says
It's been
Tinubu
established.
has promised and will do it.
Oh, of course. That is even gossip. If I were the editor, I'm not going to include it in my lineup. But it's okay. Let's know the things to guard against, that there are people who may be trying to sabotage it. But I think the government has taken a bold step, creating the Ministry of Livestock, and it's very important. It's a big foreign exchange earner. Just look at what Alake and his team are doing in the mining sector. Did you know that Nigeria could get so much money from mining? Who was it the other time? Abacha's Mustafa, what was the name again?
Al-Mustafa.
Al-Mustafa. It said actually that part of the banditry stemmed from struggle over mining sites. We didn't know these things. So let us please leave what nature has given us in the hands of legitimate harnessing so that the country will get better.
Country getting better. By the way, the people of Kogi have come out to say, rather, should I say the House of Assembly has come out to say that no money is missing in the state and that the EFCC is simply witch-hunting the former governor. So they are asking for the immediate removal of the EFCC.
The more reason
chairman.
The former governor should pay a visit and, so that we lay all of this to rest.
Ododo and Bello. It's a long story, really, but because I don't engage in speculation, I've always wanted to be seen as the good journalist. Let's leave the matter there. But there are so many things that have happened that will lift your eyebrow, what is really happening. Bello is still roaming free at the end of the day. Anyway, it's the job of the EFCC constitutionally to do what they are doing. So that is side.
No, but if the state says nothing is missing, so where did the EFCC find its own case?
Are you from Kogi State?
Not exactly. I'm from Edo State, and yes, we have a new governor. So, and that's our topic of discussion. We'll be looking at how to manage election.
You have a new governor. PDP says they will meet APC in court over a election.
Well,
it's always the case.
Where would we start congratulating winners in our
but
elections?
if you think you have a case, you
Go to
test
court.
it. You test it.
You're free to really.
You never know.
Yes.
If you can prove your case, it's good.
all right. Let's
But
see.
why do I think that you deserve a cup of tea or coffee this morning?
Well,
Is that what you want? So you want 10 liters of
actually,
petrol?
I have this tendency to think that no one likes me.
Yeah,
So when they slot in something like this, I tend to smile foolishly because I'm
Chukudi, I think
I think
you should tell him directly what you want, not a cup of tea.
No,
He wants just 10 liters of petrol. I think
you
that's
can go get yourself.
Director, where's my minimum wage? I have made the request now.
Anyway, let's let Chukwudi go get a cup of coffee so that when we return, we get on with the discussion on managing election victory. Please stay with us.